Hi, my name is Tiago. So my first experience with the practice of yin yoga was here in London in 2009. I was already experiencing Ashtanga and Hatha Yoga, and from time to time, I used to see at my gym this yoga teacher with a very short hair teaching a different type of yoga. So one day I decided to go to the concierge of my gym and ask them who was the teacher that taught that different type of class. So the concierge told me that her name was Maria and she taught yin yoga. And it hit me like a truck because I thought I was very integrated into the yoga community because I've been doing yoga for many years. So I thought to myself, how come I never heard about yin yoga? So I went home, booked the class, and went the very next day. I need to tell you a little bit about me first. I'm the type of student that likes to be right in front of the class, very close to the teacher. I am that kind of student. But because this was a brand new style of yoga that I was not used to, I then decided to sit right at the back of the class. The room was already half lit and it was full. I thought to myself, great. She won't even realize I'm here, that I'm new, and it was going to be all good. So I sat down, closed my eyes, and I was waiting for the class to start when I heard someone approaching me. And guess who was it? Exactly, Maria. She touched me in one of my knees and whispered to me, "At last you came to my class. I have seen you walking around, stopping, looking, but you never came in. Finally, you did it, and I'm very happy about it." So, to cut the story short, I took the class. I totally fell in love with it. I became friends with her. I was her best man at her wedding. But I fell in love mainly with the philosophy. In yin yoga, we can describe it as acupuncture without needles. The term yin started to be used merely to differentiate it from yang practices such as Ashtanga and other physical practices. In yin, the main physical focus is energetic. The practice of yin yoga differs from other practices. It has a passive, a silent characteristics that stimulates self-observation and introspection, can bring new sensations, which translates into a new level at the body. But the positive aspect of it, the positive for me, is the mental flexibility. The practice of more muscular and vigorous yoga like Ashtanga sometimes gives the impression that yoga is a form of physical exercise that leaves the body healthy, beautiful, and strong. Although the practice of asanas, which are the yoga poses, provide those benefits, it reaches much more subtle and internal levels, which are the energy life force in our bodies, and it's called prana by the Indian yogis and called chi by the Chinese. Often, the chi is poorly distributed throughout the body, becoming stagnant in some areas and scarce in others, causing imbalances and diseases. Yoga in general helps to distribute and increase our chi in both styles, yin or yang. But in yin yoga, it's more powerful in affecting the energy channels that are called nadis, or meridians in Chinese medicine. In the physical sphere, Taoists believe that qi is formed by the yin and yang energy, and what maintains our optimal health is the balance of these both energies. This is another reason for practicing both forms of yoga. So a curiosity about me as well. When I went to become a yoga teacher at the Sivananda ashram in Paradise Island in the Bahamas, they give you a spiritual name on the day of your graduation when you become a yoga teacher, or yoga sironami. Our spiritual master or swami meditates for a month on you, and on the day of your graduation they give you a diploma in a beautiful Hindu ceremony and present you the name that they chose for you. My spiritual name is Pranava, which means a person full of prana, or full of energy, and he couldn't be more right. If you know me at all, you know that I don't stop and that I'm full of energy, and I think that's why I fell in love with yin yoga. The yin practice targets mostly tissues with inequalities, like the connective tissues from our joints, bones and ligaments, and the fascia, which are often so neglected through life that we ended up rusty in old age, or even in young age. Proof that these tissues do not receive the attention they deserve is that athletes usually retire due to injuries to their joints and ligaments and not from their muscles. One of the effects of yin yoga also ends up being greater flexibility because the joints are more lubricated and reach greater range of movement or motion. But the greatest benefit is the more profound, generated by distribution of the vital energy. The yin classes can be defined as intense, with little effort. Well, it depends. For those who already came to a class, you know it. You know what I'm talking about. The time spent at a class can be devoted to observing physical sensations, thoughts, and following the flow of breath. Once we are faced with conflicting messages from the body and mind, we notice the presence of aversions and desires, and that sometimes we observe what we want is something different than what we are doing or already have. Usually we are faced with the monkey mind, the mind that doesn't stop. The point of yin yoga is to purposely bring the mind to a more serene and peaceful mind, our yin side. One of the intentions also of the practice is to complement the more dynamic physical activities of a young nature. During the practice, most of the time the focus of the poses are the lumbar and hip region to make them more flexible or more open. And the opening of the lumbar and hip region benefits the practice of meditation, which is done with more comfort and stability in the sitting posture. One of the focus of the practices is also to slow down from our hectic routine, dedicate time to restore, conserve energy, time for contemplation and introspection, an hour to dedicate to your body and to your mind. This time is often overlooked because we're always being busy with some activity. We often don't know how tired we are unless we're giving ourselves some space to stop and simply be. As the practice is less dynamic than a practice of yang nature, or Ashtanga for example, the focus is often on silence and on physical and mental connection. During this practice, mental states and physical sensations are observed with the intention of bringing the quality of attention and awareness without attachment. Then you understand the nature of impermanence, where sensations and thoughts come and go. A parallel can be drawn here with the clouds, which continue to move in the sky, as well as our thoughts and emotions throughout our lives. Well guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my explanation about yin yoga and what the practice is. In another video, we're going to be doing a yin yoga class together. Namaste, and I'll see you soon.